Tonight on CTV News at 6, tackling classroom complexities with new educator teams. The province says it will be deploying hundreds of complexity teams in elementary schools to help with various classroom issues.
Range and intensity of student needs are all contributing factors to complexity, and many classrooms are experiencing several of these factors at one time.
Plus, the city is developing a catalog of design templates for infill homes.
Promote a diversity of options for housing within the city, and these infill designs can be of a certain high quality standard.
And a local hospital is giving new parents the option of using donated breast milk.
We think it's a really great option to offer our families.
Looks like temperatures should get into the 6 or 7 degree range again tomorrow, but a cool down starts through the weekend and a big drop in temperatures on the way for next week.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Nariman Issa.
Good evening. The province will be sending teams of support staff into some Alberta classrooms in order to address difficulties teachers say they are facing. The new policy comes after months of consulting with educators. CTV's Connor Hogg joins us live. And Connor, who are these support teams made up of and where will they be?
Nariman, each of the 476 teams will be made up of 1 teacher and 2 educational assistants, and they'll be headed to schools that have been flagged as being the most in need of support. 143 of them are in Edmonton.
During the strike in October, many teachers and parents raised concerns over the issue of complexity in classrooms, and Minister Nicolaides and I committed to listening and acting on their concerns.
Premier Danielle Smith says today's announcement is a positive step forward for the province's education system. This comes after gathering what the Premier calls the most comprehensive set of class size and complexity data ever collected in Alberta.
Our government is investing $143 million to help our youngest and most vulnerable students in kindergarten to grade 6.
The teams will have 1 teacher and 2 educational assistants each. They'll be deployed to K-6 classrooms the province found are most in need. The provincial data also has a list of complexities impacting Alberta's students, among them learning disabilities, gifted students, and those who are learning English as a second language.
The range and intensity of student needs are all contributing factors to complexity, and many classrooms are experiencing several of these factors at one time.
We all know a single initiative cannot reverse the years of erosion in supports, staffing, and resources caused by the chronic underfunding of this government.
Alberta Teachers Association President Jason Schilling says the data released today confirms what teachers have been saying, that complexities appear in most classrooms in the province. Schilling says today's announcement needs to be followed by broader supports and for higher grades.
Alberta must commit to stable, predictable, and adequate funding that reflects the full scope of the need across the entire education system.
The money for this project comes from last year's budget, now allocated to education. Smith says Albertans can expect more resources announced in the budget later this month.
Our message to teachers and to school administrators is this: we have heard you, we're here for you, and help is on the way.
Teachers I spoke with today say that while the news is encouraging, they need to hear specifics. They question where qualified people can be found quickly that are equipped to deal with the list of complexities noted by the province. The education minister says the money will be made available to school divisions immediately so they can begin the hiring process. Today's announcement also leaves 179 schools flagged as high priority uncovered. Nariman?
All right, thank you, Connor Hogg, reporting live for us tonight. Alberta's education minister has ordered all schools in the province to review their security measures. It follows the deadly shooting in Tumbler Ridge, BC. 6 people were killed in the shooting at the local high school on Monday. That includes 3 12-year-old girls and 2 boys aged 12 and 13. A 39-year-old teacher also died. Prior to the school shooting, the suspect's mother and sibling were killed in the family's home. Now, here in Alberta, Demetrius Nicolaides is ordering all school boards to audit their own safety protocols. That includes reviewing plans for keeping doors locked, making sure safety equipment is available, and testing intercoms. It comes after RCMP in Alberta responded to at least 4 unsubstantiated school gun complaints and threats that were directed at schools in the last 2 days.
I'll also be conducting an audit of provincial standards with respect to security measures to make sure that we have adequate minimum standards for our school divisions and evaluate whether those minimum standards need to be elevated or updated.
Premier Danielle Smith says Alberta will also work with school resource officers to determine if security needs to be heightened. That could mean needing codes, keys, or swipe cards to access schools. And would Buffalo RCMP have charged an 18-year-old man after a weapons call at a local high school yesterday? Officers say while there was no weapon found at the school, officers seized a replica firearm after searching a home. The man is now facing 3 charges. Well, charges have been withdrawn against one of the 2 people charged in an alleged assault at a daycare. In March, we heard from a mother who said her son had been assaulted at Little Stars Daycare in Spruce Grove. She says she was alerted by the daycare's management and shown video footage. Police laid 6 assault charges against 2 people. Court records show all charges against 32-year-old Dimpy Bawa have been withdrawn. The Crown prosecutor confirms 29-year-old Shivani is still facing 2 counts of assault. 2 31-year-old men are facing drug charges after a seizure worth more than $1 million. Police say a search of a short-term rental property turned up $1 million worth of illegal drugs. That includes more than 5 kilograms of fentanyl. There is also heroin, cocaine, and various supplies in the mix. Officers found 12 prohibited guns and more than 1,000 rounds of ammunition. There was another search of 2 properties a few months later connected to the first seizure. Officers found $500,000 in fentanyl, meth, and cocaine, along with $70,000 in cash. More than 8,000 Albertans are sharing their horror stories from visits to emergency departments as part of a new CUPE campaign. Elaine Bonfield is participating in the online campaign, pushing the province to declare a healthcare state of emergency. She says she visited a Calgary hospital twice while experiencing severe chest pain and received no help after waiting upwards of 8 hours. On her 3rd visit, she received a referral for a scope, which was deemed semi-urgent. The wait time for her scope is between 5 and 10 months. Over the past 3 weeks, 25,000 signatures have been collected for a petition titled State of Emergency in Alberta Healthcare. The Premier responded by saying every time her government uncovers a problem, she solves it, touting new family doctors and a new nurse practitioner model.
There's no question more work needs to be done on the first point of access people have going into emergency room and making sure that emergency treatment beds aren't filled with patients waiting to get a bed on a higher floor.
CUPE says while Alberta's population has increased by 37%, hospital beds have only increased by 13%. Grey Nuns Community Hospital has become the first in Edmonton to offer donated human breast milk for newborns. As CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti explains, it's a way to feed babies while parents wait for their own supply.
Inside this room is a fridge filled with donated breast milk for newborns.
We think it's a really great option to offer our families. There's a lot of situations where women...
Last month, the Grey Nuns Community Hospital started offering donated milk to parents beyond just NICU babies. The milk comes from Northern Star Mother's Milk Bank in Calgary.
Northern Star Mother's Milk Bank accepts donations of milk from screened donors from all across Canada. Many here in Calgary and in Edmonton.
The donated milk is offered to parents who can't yet produce their own.
And the hope is that their own milk would be in by that time. If it's not, then they can purchase up to 10 bottles while they're here in the hospital to use and to take home.
Each of these 120 milliliter bottles are $19. While parents can choose formula for free, this Covenant Health clinical nurse specialist says human breast milk has added benefits.
For the baby, really, it is a first dose and a great dose of the vaccination and infections.
Anderson says selling it in the hospital can prevent parents from looking for shared breast milk that hasn't been pasteurized and is potentially unsafe.
If they have an infection, if they have certain bacteria, if they have HIV, if they have HSV, if they have any of that, that can pass into the breast milk. And if that is shared with another baby, that baby now will have it.
Covenant Health says it plans to expand the program to Misericordia Hospital in the spring. Parents wanting to buy pasteurized breast milk can also buy it from co-op pharmacies in Chappelle and Hawkstone. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
Yesterday, we told you about a bear cub rescued from a deck in Slave Lake. Today, the people who found the cub sent us a video of it. Now, Ben Fiddler says his wife stores bird seed in a box. He says he was surprised when she opened the box to get some seed and saw the cub. Fish and wildlife officers rescued it. It was taken to the Alberta Institute for Wildlife Conservation, north of Calgary. Staff there suspect the cub's mother was killed. The Institute says without her guidance, he couldn't gain the weight needed to hibernate. The hope is to release the cub back into the wild in June. Despite the record-breaking snowfall some parts of Alberta saw in December, Alberta Wildfire says it's too early to tell what this year's fire risk will be.
What's here today is not going to be as important as what we see on the ground as we get into like mid to late March and into early April.
Now, Alberta Wildfire says any snow that is melting now won't soak into the ground since it's still frozen. Wildfire season officially starts March 1st, but there have been 4 new fires since the start of the year. 282 hectares have burned, mostly in the Rocky Mountain House forest area.
Fire only grows when given the right conditions and the opportunity, and that opportunity is out there now because we are seeing open ground without snow. And we have dead and dried fine fuels, we call them, grasses. So we just ask people to be extra careful when they're out on the landscape, whether they're hunting or winter camping or whatever it is they're doing out there.
The province was supposed to announce how much it plans to spend on wildfire resources for the upcoming season in a press conference yesterday. That was postponed due to the Tumbler Ridge shooting. All right, first check on weather, Josh. We kind of had fake spring, kind of, or false spring. We have, what, second or third winter coming up shortly?
Yeah, winter is coming back, and it's going to stick around, it looks like, right through the entire back half of February. It'll probably be 15 to 20 degrees colder for the last 2 weeks of February than it has been for these first 2 weeks of February. 7 degrees, again, for a daytime high today. -3 is the average. You look at your morning low. Pretty consistently for the last week or so, the morning lows have been on par with the average highs. By next week, our highs will be on par with the average lows. We'll be in the minus teens for daytime highs. It's 5 degrees outside right now. 3s and 4s outside the city. Fairly light wind for most areas, although airport south of the city, looking at wind out of the south at about 20 kilometers per hour. Had some cloud cover slide through earlier this afternoon. It's starting to break a little bit. You can see that on the CTV drone, brought to you by Century Casinos. 3 great locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. We'll see a bit of a break in the cloud cover for a couple of hours here. And then overnight tonight, it looks like the clouds will start to thicken up. No snow expected through the evening or the overnight, but early tomorrow morning, there might be a few flurries. And you can see over the last couple of hours, we've had some scattered flurries across parts of north central and northeastern Alberta. So there's your cloud cover. Midnight right through to 8 a.m. and somewhere after midnight into the early morning hours of tomorrow, you might see a couple of snowflakes flying around. -3 to start today and up to 5 with some sunny breaks tomorrow afternoon. We'll talk more about the cool down that's on the way through the weekend and the big drop in temperatures for next week in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. We'll still ahead on CTV News at 6.
At the end of the day, we are talking about boxes within boxes. That's what a home is.
What the city hopes to accomplish with a new housing design catalog. Also ahead.
We will never find a partner that hits everything on the list.
From economic realities to political differences, while Albertans are dating less than the rest of Canadians.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
The city is developing a catalog of design templates for infill homes. It says the templates will make the building process easier and faster. CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports.
Fresh from a 2-day meeting where infill homes were described like this.
Some of these 8plexes are, let's face it, but ugly.
The mayor is excited about a new catalog of infill templates the city's housing team is developing, a menu of pre-approved design options for a range of housing types.
The more we can do to try to provide greater opportunities for certainty, that benefits everyone involved, and in turn can likely result in even more housing getting built, which is still our end goal.
The Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation published its own catalog of infill templates last year. It includes designs targeted at different regions of the country, but the Alberta section has just 7 to choose from and no designs for 8plexes, a common layout under Edmonton's new zoning.
CMHC did their best to try to build something that could work on what they deemed to be a standard lot with some forms of recognition of zoning that would be on all these different sides. So this would be very much catered to fitting Edmonton zoning.
Stuart Carrig says the city's templates will also have a certain curb appeal, intended to minimize imposing infill walls many Edmontonians dislike.
At the end of the day, we are talking about boxes within boxes. That's what a home is.
Kaylin Anderson with industry group Build Edmonton Metro is all for the templates. She says some of her members are interested, but believes amateur developers will benefit the most.
It's not a completely professionalized part of the building system, so we have a lot of individual personal home owners who want to redevelop their own site, and they might really enjoy and benefit from some guidance like this.
The city is using up to $1 million in federal funding to develop the catalog. Staff are still determining whether the templates will be free to use and expect to publish them by the end of the year. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
A sweet festival is taking over Old Strathcona. The Old Strathcona Business Association is bringing back the Sweet Treats and Latte Festival for a 6th year. More than 40 businesses in the neighborhood will be selling treat items like ice cream, cookies, lattes, and hot chocolate. The association says it's designed to bring people into Old Strathcona for what's a slower season for businesses.
And it's really good to get out and get connected, and that's really important for our businesses as well, because January and February are traditionally much slower for hospitality industry and for retail as well. So it's really good if we can get out and remember to support local.
The festival starts today and runs until February 22nd. More than 40 area businesses are participating. Cupid may be making some cutbacks this Valentine's Day. A new survey shows Albertans are dating less and not spending as much money when they do go out. CTV's Amanda Anderson brings us the story.
Dating isn't something that most people do for fun.
Local matchmaker Megan Tischuk is noticing a change on the dating scene.
I think a lot of people are just like, I don't want to be doing this anymore. It's really hard. It's expensive. It takes a lot of time. I think a lot of people are just feeling the burnout of dating.
What she's seeing is reflected in a recent survey by TD Bank Group. It shows 36% of Albertans are going on fewer dates. That's higher than the rest of the country, and 3 in 10 are spending less on them.
You opt out for coffee rather than, dinner and a movie right off the bat.
Tischuk believes the political divide in Alberta is also impacting dating.
We have a lot of kind of friction, so we're just going on less dates because we're deciding right out the gate, okay, I don't want to date this person because they don't have the same political standing as me, they don't have the same religious values or all of these things.
The survey also found Albertans are prioritizing financial transparency and finding a match who's good with money.
People need to be able to match those goals and values that are important to you. And sometimes it's not a connect. And that's why people, I think, are more discerning when it comes to dating.
Tischuk says financial stability is often a deal breaker for her clients.
It doesn't mean that they have $1 million in their bank account. What it means is that they're looking for someone who is good with money or can save, can prioritize things, not just blowing their money on a bunch of stuff. So that's really what this financial stability is about.
Some of the reasons Albertans surveyed would end a relationship include bad spending habits, risky investment decisions, and never offering to pay for anything.
But also know that compromise does happen, and it has to happen in relationships.
She says being honest about what you want in love and life will go a long way in finding the right long-term match. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Well, still to come, which Canadian athletes got on the podium today?
Very happy to win my 4th medal and 4 starts at the Olympic Games.
Plus, the men's Canadian hockey team play their first match at the Olympic Games.
Warm again tomorrow, and as we mentioned earlier, there is a slight chance early in the day and then again late in the day to maybe see a couple of flurries, but it's not until next week as the Arctic air drops in that we can expect some accumulating snow. Those details after the break.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Grade 5s, you've probably noticed it's been really warm for us in February so far, right? Yeah. Do you think it's been warm everywhere in North America? No, it's been warm for us, but it's actually been record-breaking cold in parts of eastern Canada and the eastern United States. At one point, it was warmer last week in Edmonton than it was in Orlando. What? Which seems weird, right? But the reason that happens is because the atmosphere moves in waves. Sometimes it's just little ripples, but recently it's been like this big wave here. And what goes up must go down, right? And so, do you remember what this thing over top of us, where this warm air is being drawn up? That's an upper ridge, that's right. And while we have an upper ridge over us, often what happens further east is they get an upper trough. And sometimes it's the reverse, where they're warm and we have an upper trough. Does that make sense to you guys? Yeah. Okay, good. These are the grade 5s from smart kids out here in St. Albert, forecasters of the future, and you are
Weather Watchers brought to you by the Alberta Teachers Association. Strong schools equal a strong Alberta.
A pop star and actress once married to a former Edmonton Oiler is going back on tour, which will include Edmonton. Hilary Duff will bring her The Lucky Me tour to Rogers Place next January. The millennial icon will be touring for her upcoming album, Luck or Something. Tickets go on sale next Friday at 10 a.m., the same day her new album will be released. I didn't know if I knew her music, and then one of her coworkers was like singing a bunch of songs. I'm like, oh, I think I know that one. I was never a pop person growing up.
No. You would be shocked at home if you knew Nariman's musical tastes.
What, you don't believe I'd be a metal fan?
I'm just saying. Take a look outside right now. There's a look at some mostly cloudy skies on the River Valley Skycam. It's brought to you by Action Furnace Fixed Rider. It's free. We'll see a few breaks in that cloud cover over the course of the next couple of hours, and then it'll thicken up again overnight tonight. 5 degrees after hitting 7 for a daytime high today. 5 in Fort McMurray. You get a -2 there in high level, but everybody else made it above 0 today. Grand Prairie hit 7. It was 7 in Jasper as well. Really windy in Grand Prairie. Gusts earlier today up to about 70 kilometers per hour. We had reports of some really strong wind in the Hinton area as well. There's a little front that's been sliding through, kicking up the wind. And then across the northeast, you've had some snow and some mixed precipitation. Nothing all that heavy. Looks like most of this for the rest of tonight should stay north of Fort McMurray. Watch what happens after midnight. This is 1 a.m. Clouds are thickening up, and then through the early morning hours from Edmonton off to the west-southwest, there's a little finger of precipitation there. So you may see a few flurries or some light snow around Edmonton or just off to the west and southwest. It's not going to amount to much if we get any precipitation at all. Then through the afternoon hours, cloudy with a few sunny breaks, and tomorrow night, another chance in that same region for a couple of flurries. The accumulating snow, though, holds off until next week. I think Tuesday at this point looks to be the most likely day for us to pick up several centimeters potentially. 4 degrees in Fort McMurray, 4 in Grand Prairie, 2 in Red Deer right now, and we're at 5 here in Edmonton. Look at your wind speeds. Still 40 gusting close to 60 in Grand Prairie, whereas in the Edmonton area, the wind has been fairly light and should stay that way for the rest of this evening and through the day tomorrow. Temperature-wise, -3 tomorrow morning. So again, that cloud cover insulating things through the overnight period. Then some sunny breaks and a high of 5 tomorrow afternoon. 3 and 1 for daytime highs Saturday, Sunday. Cloudy with a few sunny breaks through the weekend. chance of late day flurries Monday. There's your chance of snow. It's too early to talk about potential snowfall amounts, but this could be potentially several centimeters worth, and windy as well to go along with the colder air that's dropping in. There's tomorrow. Still lots of green on the map there. Starting to see some of the blue pop in through the course of the weekend, and watch the southern edge of this dark blue zone. Drops a little further south Monday, drops a lot further south Tuesday, and then just kind of settles in all through the middle to the end of next week. And in fact, this only goes out to the 22nd of February, but we could be in the minus 10 to 15 range for daytime highs right through to the end of February. So as long as, I mean, if this warm spell has felt long to you, the incoming cold spell is going to last just as long. And there's your chances for snow Monday night into Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday could see a few more flurries as well. By the end of next week, we'll probably have several centimeters of fresh snow on the ground.
Thank you, Josh. Well, Canada made it onto the podium today, adding to its medal count. It was also the Canadian men's hockey team's first taste of action. CTV's Scott Hurst has the latest on how Canada's athletes fared today.
A big day in short track speed skating. Courtney Sereau won bronze in the women's 500-meter. This is her second medal of the Games. Sereau was part of the team that won silver in the mixed relay earlier in the week. 4 Olympic Games, 4 medals for a Canadian athlete known as the King.
Very happy to win my 4th medal and 4 starts at the Olympic Games.
Opening ceremony flag bearer Mikhail Kingsbury landed back on the podium in Milano Cortina, a silver medal for the decorated Olympian. He finished with an identical score as the gold medalist, but lost the top spot through a tiebreaker.
This one I worked really hard for, and it was a tough one to get.
We will see Kingsbury again in the Dual Moguls event this weekend. Canada is celebrating another silver on the slopes, this time in snowboard cross. 24-year-old Elliot Grandin from Quebec also missing out on gold by the slimmest of margins.
Pretty good. I mean, it's another silver medal, so you can't really be too upset.
This is his 3rd Olympic medal and will have a chance to add to his personal total in the mixed snowboard cross team event on Sunday. On to the quarterfinals for the Canadian women's hockey team. The women beat Finland today 5-0 to close out their preliminary round with a record of 3-1. On the men's side, it was a relatively easy start to their Olympic program. The Canadian men won their opening match against Czechia 5-0. This is the first time we're seeing NHL players at the Olympic Games since Sochi 2014. The women's hockey team will begin the knockout round on Saturday. They'll face Germany in the quarterfinals. The men will be back on the ice tomorrow against Switzerland. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
And coming up on CTV News, the 8 victims of the Tumbler Ridge shooting are identified.
I didn't know it would be the last time they'd go to school together.
Today marks a day of mourning in BC as vigils are being held. Also,
having guns in the home with the mentally ill youth is a risk.
Looking into how the shooter had their guns removed by RCMP before getting them back.
Programming brought to you by Leading Ladies of Broadway with your Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. Learn more at winspearcenter.com. Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
From loving and courageous to a brave kid with a bright future, these are how some of the victims of the Tumbler Ridge shooting are being described. Police have now confirmed the identities of all 8 victims. CTV's Andrew Johnson reports from BC.
Fresh tears near Tumbler Ridge Secondary School, where there is a steady stream of mourners determined to pay their respects, including BC Premier David Eby, who arrived in town last night, and Rick Patterson, who's lived here since 1983 and is one of the many trying to navigate their grief.
I think it's just a day-by-day and moment-by-moment thing.
For Patterson, the hardest part is feeling like the community failed its most vulnerable.
There was no protection there for them. They thought they were in a safe place, and I thought they were in a safe place.
Once a safe place, Tumbler Ridge Secondary is now the scene of a murder investigation. Police say the suspect, 18-year-old Jesse Van Rootselaar, murdered one teacher, 39-year-old Shanda Evaguana Durand, and 5 students there, and injured 27 others before turning the gun on herself. Among the victims, 13-year-old Ezekiel Schofield, 12-year-old Abul Mwanza, whose family online called him a brave kid with a bright future. 12-year-old Zoe Benoit is being remembered as a resilient, vibrant, and caring little girl. Also among those killed, 12-year-old Tikara Lampert, who friends say was a loving, courageous, and humorous girl who leaves behind 7 siblings. Their classmate, 12-year-old Kylie Smith, who was the light of her family's life, was also killed at the school.
I let her off. I let her go to school with her brother Ethan in the morning, and I soaked in that moment watching them walk in the door together for whatever reason, and I didn't know it would be the last time they'd go to school together.
Police say before going to the school, Van Rootselaar killed her 39-year-old mother, Jennifer Jacobs, and 11-year-old stepbrother, Emmett Jacobs, at their family home. Community members say the love from Canadians across the country is helping them feel less alone during these dark days.
I love this place, I love this town, and now I love Canada even more because of what you have given to us.
She is not the only person we've heard that from. In the town, people tell us has long been known as The Rock. A great description today for the strength of this community. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Tumbler Ridge, BC.
And more than 24 people were injured in the attack. Those who were inside the school at the time and survived recall the intense moments.
I didn't really know what it was. I thought it was like someone dropping something. And then I heard like it again, and then I knew it was like a gunshot.
The alert went out, and at that point we realized this was very serious, and we took tables and put them against the doors to make it difficult for anyone that had tried to enter forcefully.
I called him and got him on the phone, and for 2.5 hours kept him on the phone with me just to know that he was okay. There were a lot of tense moments when he was on the phone with me of not knowing because he had to be quiet.
The BC government declared today a national day of mourning. A vigil took place last night and another one is happening tomorrow. Prime Minister Mark Carney and other party leaders are scheduled to attend. RCMP say they may never find out the motive behind the Tumbler Ridge school shooting. Now, the shooter's gun license had been revoked, but a petition by the family was approved and the weapons were returned. CTV's Judy Trin now on the investigation and whether Canada's gun laws need to change.
This is the home of the shooter, Jesse Van Rootselaar, and the starting point of the killing spree. The 18-year-old killed her mother, Jennifer Jacobs, and a younger brother. The RCMP say they were called to the house multiple times.
We have a history of police attendance at the family residence. Some of those calls were related to mental health issues.
Very few people living in rural communities appreciate the extent to which having guns in the home with the mentally ill youth is a risk.
At the second crime scene, police say they recovered a long gun and a modified handgun from the school. On Facebook, Strang posted this photo of 6 long guns in 2024. She wrote, "It's time to take them out for target practice." Police say they had previously seized the firearms, but later returned them to the owner.
I can say that at a later point in time, the lawful owner of those firearms petitioned for those firearms to be returned.
In cases where mental health issues arise, police can seize firearms and seek a court order preventing gun possession in the name of public safety.
The question is, why was the prohibition application, which was begun by the seizure, why was that not followed through on?
To get the guns returned, Strang would have had to go to court. Police have not said why they gave back the guns.
This should be information that is readily available to the public, and it should be information that we can look at, because it's only with sort of that information can we see if mistakes were made.
The RCMP say they're continuing to investigate these questions. Meanwhile, statistics show that there is a higher rate of violent crime involving guns in rural communities than in cities. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Well, coming up, a blow to Trump's tariffs on Canada.
This is the right vote for my district. These tariffs are hurting them.
While the U.S. House of Representatives vote against Donald Trump's tariffs, why that move is more symbolic. Plus,
this has nothing to do with ideologies, politics, being transgender. It's a mental health issue.
Advocates warn against vilifying transgender people in the wake of the Tumbler Ridge shooting.
Coming up Friday on Your Morning, we talk about the emotional tax of technology. And ahead of Valentine's Day, advice to break up in a respectful and healthy way. See you at 6.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Taking a look at today's markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 73 cents to the American dollar. Oil was down $1.79, ending the day at $62.84 U.S. a barrel. Gold lost $150 on the day. The TSX and the Dow Jones both finished the day lower, down 788 points and 669 points, respectively. The U.S. House of Representatives has dealt a blow to U.S. President Donald Trump's trade agenda. 6 House Republicans joined Democrats late Wednesday, backing a resolution to end Trump's so-called fentanyl tariffs on Canada. While the vote won't overturn the tariffs, there is a silver lining for Canada. CTV's Rachel Aiello explains.
The joint resolution is passed.
By a vote of 219 to 211, the U.S. House passed a resolution to repeal President Donald Trump's so-called fentanyl tariffs levied last year, citing border security. These 6 House Republicans breaking ranks to join the Democrats in backing the move.
This is the right vote for my district. These tariffs are hurting them.
And while largely symbolic, it's a sign some Republican support for Trump's use of emergency powers is slipping.
I'm disappointed in the vote, but the president has veto power.
Defending his trade agenda, Trump said any Republican in the House or the Senate that votes against tariffs will seriously suffer the consequences.
Well, I've got to represent my district, and Canada and the state of Washington have a very close trading relationship that's valuable.
The resolution now goes to the Senate, but without the 2/3 majority needed to override Trump's expected veto, the tariff policy won't change.
It positions us a little bit better, incrementally better for the upcoming review.
Though this trade expert says it's still good news for Canada.
I think it actually gives Canada a little bit of additional negotiating power, right? But it just highlights to the president and to the U.S. administration that Canada has allies.
The U.S. Supreme Court is separately weighing whether Trump can continue using emergency tariff powers. But for now, Ontario Premier Doug Ford is celebrating this vote as an important victory. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
After the identity of the Tumbler Ridge shooter was revealed, discrimination and false claims started spreading online. The 18-year-old was a transgender woman. CTV's Heather Wright digs into the facts.
As news of Tuesday's school shooting in Tumbler Ridge broke and details began to emerge, Dee McWaters says her heart sank for the victims, for their families, and for the transgender community.
It was like, oh no, you know what? People are going to use this to weaponize hate.
Even before the shooter's identity was confirmed by police, speculation about their gender identity was spreading across social media. Among them, a post from BC MLA Tara Armstrong, which said, "There is an epidemic of transgender violence spreading across the West." Elon Musk also shared a number of tweets claiming that trans people are more likely to carry out mass shootings. Armstrong has not responded to our request for comment, but for members of the trans community, there is a worry these statements will lead to further marginalization.
This has nothing to do with ideologies, politics, being transgender. It's a mental health issue.
And according to statistics, mass shooters who identify as transgender are rare.
I think it's a product of the information environment that we're in. So
When a shooter is transgender, that becomes the headline and that becomes the story.
James Densley is a co-founder of the Violence Project, which tracks mass shootings in the United States, defined as 4 or more people shot and killed. He says they have just one incident in their database, a 2023 school shooting in Nashville, involving a shooter that identified as transgender. Densley says linking trans identity with violence is an extension of other ways the trans community has been demonized.
There's been a lot of conversations about transgender people's role in society, their access to care, for instance, their access to bathrooms. This is an extension of that line of thinking.
According to a number of studies, transgender people are more likely to be victims of violence themselves, with instances of transgender hate crimes on the rise. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Still ahead, a first for Fort Macleod.
Progress still has to happen, and it all becomes history one day.
The upgrade you might be surprised it didn't have already.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV, starting at 7 with E-Talk.
Southern Alberta's oldest town is about to get a modern-era upgrade. The town of Fort Macleod will be installing its first ever traffic light on Highway 3. That's more than 134 years after the town was founded. CTV's Carson Marsouk reports.
It's controlled by a stop sign now, but come June, this Fort Macleod intersection will be equipped with traffic lights.
Safety is a good thing always, especially for pedestrians. You know, I always see that problem, but hopefully it'll work out.
That would be perfect because there's a lot of people that cross the highway there. Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
The traffic lights, though, will be the first ever to be installed in the town.
When we're doing a new development or doing any major projects, then we do a traffic study just to see how that's going to affect things. So just with the new houses and businesses going in Macleod Landing, then that will increase the traffic in that area.
About 11,000 vehicles pass through the Highway 3 and 18th Street intersection every day.
I've been in business in Fort Macleod for 4 years, and the growth that we've seen has been tremendous for us and for neighboring businesses, so we're really excited.
Incorporated in 1892, the town is best known for the Northwest Mounted Police, farmland, and railway. But the modern-day project will be one for the history books.
One day we'll be talking to people and we'll be saying, yeah, like, can you believe it? Back in 2026, that's when they first got their first traffic light, you know, and we'll have to have a display for it set up because, you know, that's how history goes.
While the technology will be new in town, Margaret Plumtree says it won't take away from the historic charm.
Well, we've got the historic downtown, right? Blocks and blocks of really old buildings. The town really does a great job keeping it, you know, keeping that historic look to it, that preservation. But, you know, progress still has to happen, and it all becomes history one day.
Construction will begin in April, with the new light anticipated to be operating by the end of June.
Well, in the scope of a town like this, a new traffic light is a moment in history. I suggest we all take a moment to appreciate it, because in 100 years, nobody is going to remember who put it there.
Carson Marsouk, CTV News, Fort Macleod.
Temperatures overnight tonight slipping to -3 as we'll get some thicker cloud cover moving through. There's a slight chance of flurries early tomorrow morning and then again tomorrow evening. For most of the day, if not all of tomorrow, though, it's just going to be cloudy with a few sunny breaks. One more really nice warm one, 5 degrees tomorrow, 3 on Saturday. Still above 0 Sunday, although just barely. And then the cold spell begins. -4 on Monday, -10 to 15 range for daytime highs after that, with some snow. There's a chance of snow almost every single day next week. Best chance for some accumulating snow Tuesday.
I was just thinking the town of Fort Macleod should actually bring a red light camera.
No!
Really give them the full big city experience.
Step right into the future.
All right, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.